Lisa here, Front Row Promotions. How are you? In the house, Candy Burton in the house, my sidekick. And we have, go ahead, Candy.
I was just going to say, hey, it's good to be back.
Yes, let's welcome Candy back. Woo! Show her some love.
Oh, I feel all the love up here in Toronto. That's awesome.
All right. And welcome to our guest in the house. It is Jim Day from Supersonic Platonic. That is a tongue twister for me. I can't get all that out.
It is.
I was ready to jump in there on that one, Lisa, but you got it. That was great.
Thank you. I know I get tongue twisted a lot.
I know.
So tell us about Supersonic Platonic, Jim.
Supersonic Platonic is my concept band, and I came up with a name about 2 years ago, and I wanted something to kind of rhyme, a name to kind of rhyme, and I kept thinking, what rhymes with supersonic that I could use, and so I said, you know what, and I just blurted it out, Supersonic Platonic, and I texted my sister, and she burst out laughing. She said, she's like, that's a horrible name. But then I'm like, no. And then so I talked to all kinds of people, and they're like, man, that name is great. It's catchy. It rhymes. So that's what we're going with.
I like it. Yes, absolutely.
I was going to ask you where that name came from, because that's probably the most unique band name I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I love it.
I never heard of it.
I just think, you want to have a catchy band name, and I don't know. It's just what I came up with. I didn't really put a whole lot of thought into it, but it came out, and that's just what I want to go with. So that's who we are.
It's brilliant. Exactly. Love it.
Yes. Now tell us what type of music you play. You guys do.
Okay. Our music is mostly hard rock and grunge. We have a lot of grungy type of material. And some people that hear my music say they think it sounds somewhat a little bit more like Southern rock.
I like that too.
So that's not really what I'm trying to put out there, but if that's what they think it sounds like, that's what they think it sounds like. So I'm trying to be more on the grungy side. And I have a lot of material.
Oh no, we just lost Jim.
And he'll be back soon, I'm sure. I think he's having some technical difficulties there.
Let's keep this going for a second, and I'll try and bridge the gaps here. So if you are friends with Lisa or myself on Facebook, okay, we just posted a fun little thing today.
And here he is. And we're back. And you can get back to that too, Candy.
Yeah, so let me just finish my thought real quick, and then we'll bring Jim back in.
Okay.
So today we have posted something, Lisa and I. We did a fun little thing for all of our listeners and all of our followers. It's a little known fact here on Front Row Promotions that we have a Pepsi versus Coca-Cola war happening. Lisa is the Pepsi girl, and I'm the Coca-Cola girl. So I thought it would be fun to do a little thing on Facebook where we get our listeners and our followers to vote on which one they like. Now, we have yet to figure out, that whoever gets the least likes has to lose a bet or something, but we're going to think of something good. So I'm thinking maybe, like, if everybody likes Pepsi, then I'll just drink a Pepsi on the show and grin and bear it. But I don't know. We'll figure something out. So anyway, I've said my piece. Follow us on Facebook, look for that photo, and vote for which one you like the most. Lisa and Jim, back to you guys.
Okay.
All right. So, Jim, do you drink soft drinks? Do you drink I can't even say it. Pepsi or Coke?
I occasionally. I like Pepsi better than Coke.
Damn it.
Yay!
Coke tastes flat to me. Pepsi has the fizz, and I don't know what it is, but I think Coke just has a flat taste to it. But I'm iced tea drinker. I'm a iced tea, green tea. I'm just a big iced tea.
I like good. That's probably better for you in itself. Yeah.
So.
Damn it! Everybody likes Pepsi. What the hell's up with that?
Because it's good. out, and it tastes so much better. It's
Oh my
so
God! All of
refreshing.
our listeners and followers, you guys, I'm feeling the love on that one. Come on now.
I'm sure there's going to be someone out there that likes Coca-Cola. Now, here's the trick with me. I'll drink a Coca-Cola if there's no Pepsi.
Right.
Oh,
Sure.
well, that
Sure.
doesn't make it any better.
But my first choice is Pepsi.
Sure. You know what? Pepsi salesmen and Pepsi drivers say about Coke drivers. They say Coke's a 4-letter word.
But
yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So cool.
Yeah, no, I remember going into a grocery store one day, walking down the aisle where they have all like the salty snacks and all the soft drinks, and I kid you not, there was a guy there with a Pepsi t-shirt and a woman wearing a Coca-Cola t-shirt.
Were they together?
So I walked past, being a little shit disturber that I am, I walked past them and I go, I wonder who's going to win this fight. They're just killing themselves laughing. But anyway, yeah, so guys, look out for that photo on Facebook and vote for which one you like the best. So there you go.
Remember, thumbs up is Pepsi. Thumbs up. And the heart
for Coca-Cola.
is for Coca-Cola.
Mm.
Go on.
Okay, back to you, Jim. Sorry.
That's all right.
We're just having some fun. And where did you leave off at?
We were talking a little bit about Supersonic Platonic. I talked to you a little bit about what the style of my music is, and
yes, that's right.
Basically, my band we're all session musicians. I'm a session rhythm guitarist. Scott Harris is a session vocalist. Does very well. Jimmy Consta, my lead guitarist, he's a session lead guitarist. And Max Guerrero, he's an audio engineer at one of the best studios up in Cincinnati where I go to, and he's in his own band that's signed to a label. He's a fantastic drummer and bass guitar player. Wonderful. And then he does session work on drums and bass. And so I mean, we all know how to play. We all know how to play. We all know how to do our thing. And so I approached Scott about a year ago and I said, look, you know what? I've got this amazing material. I have 3 or 4 albums of instrumentals, just amazing instrumentals. So I started sending Scott over some stuff. He's like, man, he said, that's fantastic. He's like, what do you got for lyrics? I'm like, I don't have anything for lyrics. So he's like, well, give me some lyrics. So anyway, so basically the songs are all mine. I mean, I wrote all the lyrics. I wrote the vocal harmonies. I wrote pretty much all the music. And then I come back to Scott and I said, okay, Scott, here's my lyrics. Da, 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 da. And so Scott came up with the vocal parts for me. He sent them back to me. He'd be like, hey, what do you think? What do you think? I'm like, I like this, but I don't like that. And so we just kind of went back and forth. Same thing with Jimmy on lead guitar and Matt. Of course, the drums and the bass was easy. That's the first thing you do when you go to the studio. You lay your back line. So that was the easy part, the drums and the bass. Then I come in, lay all my rhythm guitars. And then basically we put the song together and kind of just go from there. So
that's
very cool. Yeah.
So
how did you personally start out in this type of a career? Like, did you have a musical background? Like, was it something or someone that inspired you to do what you do?
I've played in numerous bands in high school and college. Then I took about a 15-year break. Just kind of didn't play any music for a long time. And about 6 years ago, I just picked up a guitar again, and I just started playing. Strictly composing originals. I can't even play a cover song. That's not who I am. The mark of a great musician is someone who can just come up with their own stuff and their own signature sound. And so basically, and I'm self-taught. I mean, I can't read music, and I'm just a self-taught guitarist. And but I could pick up a guitar in 30 minutes. I could come up with a song. I could come up with the rhythm part, the verses, the chorus, the bridge, back to the chorus again, and then an ending. And it just comes natural to me. The guitars just come
Right.
natural. And I think a lot of that is because I didn't learn 50 covers. People that learn covers and start out like that, they have to learn every part of the song. They're not creating anything. You know what I'm saying? They're not
Yeah.
creating.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
basically, I have avoided everything about covers. And when I pick up a guitar, I'm picking it up because I'm creating something. And
Right.
that's why I have so much material, because I know I have 3 or 4 albums of just instrumentals that are just killer stuff that sounds
Wow.
like Zeppelin, stuff that sounds like Weezer, stuff that sounds like ZZ Top,
Wow.
just amazing stuff. So it was real difficult to try to pick what songs I want to start out with,
Right.
so because everybody has opinion, and without lyrics and vocal harmonies and stuff, you don't know what the song's going to sound like. An instrumental can sound
Yeah.
great and then sound totally different when you start
When you
putting all the
put this,
pieces together.
yeah.
So
So, when you when you say that you sit down and maybe in a half hour you can hammer out, rhythm parts and stuff like that. When you sit down and write music,
mhm.
do you just sit down with an idea in your head and think, okay, I got to put something to this idea, or do you just sit down and think, okay, I'm going to write a song, whatever comes out comes out? Like, what's the method to your madness?
um, my method is I will just I'll pick up a guitar and I'll just start playing around some different chord progressions,
Okay.
and I'll play and until something sounds good. Like I'll
Okay.
play and I'll say, man, that sounds pretty good. What can I do with it? Where can I take this? And
Yeah.
so basically, I don't have a melody in my head. I don't have anything that I'm trying to figure out on the guitar. I just pick up the guitar, and then if I play something and I like it, I record it right away. You got to
Mhm.
record it right away, because that inspiration, it can go so fast, because
Right.
you could come up with something, and then God, the phone can ring, and you could go
And then
answer the
it's
phone,
gone.
and then you come back and you're like, how what was that? What was I playing? What did I do? And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, and you're like, that was a hit song. I mean, I'm like, that had potential, and now just boom, just out the window.
Right.
So anyway, you got to record it right away. When I come along, when I play something, I said, man, that sounds pretty good. Bam, it's going. My phone comes out. I do it. I do it again. I take it on my phone, and that way I got it. Because
That's true. Yeah.
10 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes away from the guitar, you can completely forget what you just
Sure.
composed.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. I
but
think I'm not a musician, but I was on the phone with Candy and I was just like humming some song. It was not
yes,
nobody's song. It was just something that was in my head. And she
yes,
said, "What are you humming? What is that? It sounds good." I said, "I don't know." And
right,
it's just something that come to me.
exactly,
But I understand exactly what you're saying when you
yeah,
say you got to put it right down right
you
away.
do. You got to put it
Yes.
right down. You got to put it right down. Yep.
Remember that,
Um,
Candy? I don't know how
but
it went, but it was like I was
I
humming
do
yeah,
something.
remember that.
Yeah,
well, like
yeah.
the Rolling Stones, the guitarist for the Rolling Stones, he woke up in the middle of the night and had a melody, and he ran right to his guitar and figured out what it was that he was thinking of, and it was "Start Me Up." I
Wow.
mean,
Wow.
how amazing, how
Yes.
amazing, that
Oh,
signature lick, "Start Me Up," and yeah, he just composed it. So, but you got to go
what
right to
is
your instrument and figure it out. And of course, back then he didn't have a way to record it. So either he wrote it down, he wrote it down on a piece of paper, what notes and what chords he was playing, So, but
absolutely. Wow. And that's
So
nice how you say you can just pick up the guitar and it just comes to you
it does.
naturally. Yeah,
It really does. It really does. I don't know. It's I think it's just a gift. It's a gift,
right.
and it's a gift because my stuff is grungy and my stuff is 80s and 90s sounding,
Okay.
but but I have a way of making it sound a little bit modern and fresh. Like
Right.
like Tattooed Angel. You heard that? That sounds 80s,
I
80s,
like it.
90s, but
Yes.
it doesn't sound like, oh my God, that's something old. It actually sounds fresh. And
Right.
that's what people are telling me, that my stuff is 80s and 90s sounding, but it's got a modern flavor to it,
Flavor to
which
it. Yeah.
yeah, which is what you know what is what I'm is which is what I'm going to need, to capture an audience, So that's what and all all the music insiders, all of them, they're saying that rock and roll and grunge are going to make a huge comeback over the next couple years. They're all
Oh
saying it.
yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's just yeah. So anyway, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely. I like it.
So
That's awesome. Now, how long have
it's
you
about
guys
time,
been?
right? It's
Yes.
about time. I mean, doesn't the music on today's radio suck? I mean, auto auto-tuned vocals, nobody plays an instrument, it's the same, rap beat in the background. It's just awful. It's just
Well,
awful.
look, Kanye West needs like 30 people just to produce one freaking song. And your boys from the Rolling Stones woke up in the middle of the night, got one idea, and here we go, Start Me Up comes on. That's a
Yes,
lot.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
see what I mean?
Sure. Sure.
Anyway. So, what was your first concert, Jim?
Oh
My
yeah.
first my first concert. Have you ever heard of the band Kix?
Oh, yes.
Oh
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
yeah.
Yeah. I grew up in Maryland, and Kix, they're from that area. The lead
Oh
singer's from
yeah. Hagerstown. Yeah.
Hagerstown.
Frederick.
So
Yeah.
they had a strong following in high school and everything where I grew up. Well, my first concert was Poison opening up for Kix.
Oh, wow.
Poison
Wow.
Poisons just came out with their debut album, and they had one song that was on the radio. I can't remember what it was. What was their first release off that album? I can't remember. The album was
Um.
"Look What the Cat Drug In," but I can't remember what that first song they released.
Oh,
But
poison.
they have,
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
but their first single was on playing on the radio,
Is it Every
and
Rose Has Its Thorn? Maybe.
no, no,
No.
no, no. But it might have been the song might be that might be the song. Look What the Cat Dragged In. That might be the song, but it was on the radio, but nobody really knew who they were because they were coming and doing a tour on the East Coast.
So, if you hear the
Oh.
name of the song, would you know it right away? That was the release.
Yes.
Was it I Want Action?
I think so. I think so. Yes.
How about Talk Dirty to Me? And baby.
Oh, wait. No, you're right, Lisa. It was Talk Dirty to Me.
Talk Dirty to Me.
That was their first
Love
release.
that song.
Yes.
And they were that had just just started playing on the radio.
Yes.
And of course Poison, they were well known. They were a known commodity on the West Coast. Nobody really knew who they were. Yeah, nobody knew who they were on the East Coast. And so someone put together a tour and had Poison opening up for Kix. And do you know, a lot of people don't know this, but do you know that Bret Michaels copied Steve Whiteman's look? Steve Whiteman wore the big sunglasses and wore the bandana.
Oh, okay.
And
No,
Bret
didn't know that.
Michaels liked that look. And they're doing this tour on the East Coast, and after a couple shows, Bret Michaels starts walking around with these big sunglasses and this bandana on his head,
Oh
and
my gosh.
Steve Whiteman and Kix are like, he just stole your look, man. And anyway, but yeah, he totally he totally stole Steve Whiteman's look, which is it's just hilarious. It's just hilarious. And then Poison, they just shot to the moon. They just became like, one of the biggest bands on the planet, and Kix kind of got just left in the dust, and then they went out on the West Coast. They went out on the West Coast, and Kix opened for Poison, but they just never were able to, elevate themselves to, to superstardom. They had a couple hits, but they never, elevated themselves to, the superstardom status like Poison did. So
right, I gotcha.
But they're still an awesome band. I think.
They're amazing. Yeah,
they're amazing band. They're amazing band, and they're still together.
Yes, and they're still doing their thing. Yeah, they're still out
there.
They're
still doing their thing, and you know what? They still get voted time and time again for putting on like the best show. I mean,
awesome. Yes.
What you ever see them, Lisa?
Plenty of times I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when he comes out and he jumps on all them balloons at the end. I mean, it just. I mean,
that's amazing. That's so cool.
It's amazing. Yeah, he's just amazing, and so they time and time again they get voted as the best performing act. Because they can really put on a show.
They do. Steve Whiteman's funny.
Yeah,
he gets the audience involved, and
sure he does.
And he's doing like all kind of stuff on that stage and singing different. You can hear the same song, and he sings it many different ways, like that. I think it's called "Tell Me Now." Tell Me Now.
Yeah,
and then when he goes through the whole thing about having the girl taking her back to the room and all this stuff, and then she threw up all over the floor. So there's so many different ways. Yeah, he tells that story. Then tell me now, and it goes on into it, and then it's like powerful. It's very full of energy, and it's so cool.
And on that subject of Kix, though, Ronnie Youngkins is actually very near and dear to us here in the podcasting world. So, Ronnie, if you're watching, we love you.
We love you.
Much love and strength and positivity. We're so proud of everything that you've overcome.
Yes, he's come a long way with his struggles. Yes.
Yeah.
But he's still out there doing Blues Vultures, and he does a really good job in his band and doing that as well. So, I've seen that one once or twice. So, and that's where you can meet him up close. And then Kix, you can't get 2 feet in front of, you can't meet all of them like that unless they come out. But Blues Vultures, he's right there, and it's just so much easier down to earth, and it's like, okay, but it's pretty cool. So back to you, Jim. How long have you guys been together with Supersonic Platonic?
Pretty much just about 6 months. We've been doing all this music for about 6 months. We've cut 4 songs.
Okay.
We have an EP that is going to be coming out here real soon. Of course, Tattooed Angel is going to be our first release.
Okay.
But we're following this strategy. I got this strategy that on how to release my songs, and it just seems like, I spent a year of just constant research on what's the best way to release your material, and it seems like the worst thing you can do is release a whole album all at once. It seems like if you're trying to get discovered and you're trying to build a fan base and you're trying to get to the next level, you need to release one single at a time, wait about 6 weeks, do another single, 4 to 6 weeks, another single, and just build your fan base up. And that's kind of what our strategy is right now, is we're going to build up our fan base. We're not looking to do any shows until maybe mid or late next spring. And all of us we just want to see what happens and where the music goes. So that's our strategy right now. We're all I talk to Scott Harris quite often, and he's like, when the situation's right and the money's right and a tour is presented to us, then we'll jump on it. But right now we don't have any plans for any kind of shows. Right now we're just trying to put together just an amazing 10, 12 songs of material. And
Gotcha.
and we do have some record label interests.
Wonderful.
So
Oh, yeah.
Linda Perry has a record label in LA.
Oh, we love
And
Linda Perry.
Yes.
we sent them a single called 30 Seconds Till Goodbye. And they were wowed by it. I've submitted to many record labels, and most of them don't reply back to you. You know, they just you have to really have something special. And I reply, you know, we have Linda Perry's record label we're talking to, but there's two other record labels we're talking to that are a lot smaller. But we submitted just one song, and it was called 30 Seconds Goodbye. And Linda Perry's record label was like, wow, that's a great song. What else do you have? What else do you have? Well, they wanted us to send 12, 15 songs, and we only really had 2 or 3. You know, I have 10, but they're in various stages of completion.
Right.
You know, so and now we have 4 songs that are done. But that they wanted like 10 or 12 songs. So we just weren't at that level to where we could give them a whole album's worth of material. And right now we have 4 songs that are done. And I'm a perfectionist. Man, it takes me, Tattooed Angel took me almost 6 months to get it to exactly where I wanted it. And we just went back and forth, in and out of the studio. Didn't like that. Going back in the studio again, just getting it perfect. And I've been such a perfectionist that maybe I'm the one that's at fault for why the music ain't getting out faster, because I'm trying to write a hit song every time. You know, I'm trying to write a fantastic song every time. And so, because in my opinion, no matter how great a song is, it can always be better. You know, so
you want it to stand out, and you want to have all that about it, instead of being okay, you've done it, it's finished.
Right. Because you know, I have a huge album collection, and it bothers me when I buy an album and I like just one song on the album or 2. You know what I'm saying? How so many albums just got forced out because the record label wanted 10 songs or 12 songs, and there's just 2 or 3 good songs, and the rest of it's garbage, just junk. So that's what I hate so much about so many albums, is that, you know, they were rushed. You know, it just seems like, you know, they were rushed, and it was just about forcing out an album, trying to get one hit off the album, then bam, off to the next album, put out another album, try to have one hit off the album. And that's a horrible philosophy, in my opinion. So
you want to have more than just 1 or 2 major hits. You would like to have a lot more than that.
I mean, they don't even have to be hits. I just want them to be great songs. I mean, I can't think of an AC/DC album where I didn't like a song on the album.
Oh,
you know what
I
I mean?
know. Yes.
I love every song on the album.
Exactly.
Every song.
Absolutely. All their songs kick ass. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they do it right. They put out an album, and every song kicks ass. And there's just not a lot of bands like that, you know, where
they can do that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I want. If I'm going to put out an album, I don't want 8 filler songs, you know, and you know, I don't want 4 really good songs on the album and 8 filler songs. I want 12 awesome songs. So that's just my philosophy. So.
I understand. I see how you feel. I get that too. Yeah. You don't want to buy just something. Then it's no, you know, it's and like now, you can get into that. Yeah. So what do you like most about being a musician?
Just, you know what I like the most about it? I like the creative process. I like knowing that there's not a lot of people that can do what I can do. You know what I'm saying? When I create a song, and then I play it to people. I got a really good friend up in Columbus. The guy's name is Sick in the Second, and he is so talented. And but his music's a lot. His music's a lot different than mine. His music is more like Machine Gun Kelly. He could be the next. He could be the next Machine Gun Kelly. He's that talented. Anyway, so we're really good friends, and we actually cut a song together.
Cool.
Yeah, we cut a song together. But he, when I first played him my music, I think the first song I sent him was 30 Seconds to Go By. And he's like, dude, he's like, this is awesome. And you know what he told me? He says, nobody can duplicate that. He's like, nobody can copy that sound. He said, it's completely original. He said, that's what, he said, your stuff is completely original, which is what I'm hoping for.
Right.
When people hear it, I want people like, man, I don't sound like anybody else. I'm not trying to be another band. I'm not trying to copy anyone else's sound. We don't want to be like Greta Van Fleet, they copied Led Zeppelin's sound. Basically, they're fantastic musicians. They got a fantastic lead singer, but they sound like Led Zeppelin. So anyway, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. They're a great band. But I don't want anybody to say, oh man, they sound just like this band, or they sound just like Guns N' Roses, or they copy this band's sound.
Right. You want to be original.
Yes. And that's I think, and I think that's what I captured. I think that's what my music has done. I think my stuff sounds so original. People will say, oh man, I hear a little bit of Guns N' Roses influence, maybe. Mm-hmm. Or they'll say, oh, I hear a little bit of this band's influence. But nobody is saying, man, you sound just like that band, or you copied someone's sound. What I'm getting from people is that it's original. It's very original. So
awesome. That is so cool.
That's the ultimate compliment when you're inspired by, this musician and that musician or that band or this band, but then you go on to create your own style, your own unique sound, and that's the ultimate compliment when people go, the influence is there, but you sound like you.
Right.
That's
right.
An amazing
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to cut on Greta Van Fleet. I'm just, what's your opinion?
Okay, let me jump on that right now. I was hoping I would get a chance to talk about this. So, Greta Van Fleet, they are very talented. I don't know their music really well. I probably would not be able to pick them out if I was listening to them on the radio or something. But I got a beef with Greta Van Fleet because my all-time favorite band is Ghost, and Greta Van Fleet beat them out. What was it, 4 years ago, at the Grammys?
Oh, so, okay.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth, and I'm sticking to my opinion.
Gosh.
But bottom line, Greta Van Fleet, you can't deny that there's talent there. Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
but it's just a personal thing. I feel like Ghost should have won that Grammy for Best New Rock Album, but Greta Van Fleet took it, and congratulations to them. That's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, there you have it. So how long have you been a musician? Like, what age did you start?
I picked up a guitar I was probably 16. I got some really funny pictures with the 80s hair.
Oh, and, nice. Okay.
I got some great pictures. And I played probably 6 years back in high school and college, 6 years. So like I said, then I took about 15 years off and just never picked up a guitar again. And it took about 6 months just to get back into it with your fingers and developing the calluses on your fingers,
into the groove of it.
Get back in the groove of it. And then it just kind of just came back to me. And then I just basically have been writing completely original stuff for 6 years. For 6 years.
That is so cool. And then you pick it right back up, and it's just like as if you're writing something, or you're, it comes so natural to you.
Right.
I'd like to hear some of your music that you have.
Okay. Well, I can email you some more stuff. I mean,
that would be awesome. I would love to hear it.
Instrumentals, or you want to hear a couple of the tracks that are going to be on the EP?
All of it.
Okay.
I'm all of it. I have a passion for music, so I would love to hear all of it.
You know what? Music is such a powerful thing, and when you have a gift like that, Jim, like what you have, to be able to sit down and hammer out those amazing songs, I mean, that's something that is like, it doesn't matter, instrumental, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. Music is music, and it's a beautiful thing.
I love instrumental. I love that. Sometimes I can, just, like, for example, my intro was Mickey Licks, and I have his permission to use his music for my intro. And I can just listen to the guitar, whether it's fast or slow. I can just get into that, whether there's lyrics or no lyrics, and
right.
It depends on your mood too. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that mood is everything. Like, you could be really happy one day and just, loving life. Maybe you want to listen to something fast and heavy, or maybe you're just having an off day. Maybe you just want to chill out and relax, and maybe put on some, George Michael or something. His music is pretty it's classic. It's classic melodic rock. There's so many different genres, so many different types that you can listen to depending on how you're feeling. It can reflect how you're feeling and how you're what you're doing.
Sure.
Brings out all the feelings, and the music touches your soul in many different ways. Yes.
Now, Lisa, how about we go into some fun questions? What do you think?
Yes. All right. Sounds good. Since you haven't been on in a long time, I'm going to let you start this one. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, Jim, this is my absolute favorite question to ask. I think it's so much fun and could go in so many different directions. So, if you were stranded on a desert island, Jim, what 5 items would you want to bring with you?
5 items if I was stranded on a deserted island.
It could be something practical, or it could be something that you just want to have with you. It could be anything.
Oh man. Okay. So I guess I would want flint, some kind of flint, so I can create fire.
Right.
And I definitely would need a knife. And I would say a fishing pole. And then I would say probably a spear. and a toilet, a commode.
Oh no.
That's great.
That's funny.
Those are good ones, but nobody's ever said that one before. That's awesome. Jim, what's the weirdest question you've ever been asked?
The weirdest question. Boy, that's I don't know. I can't think of the weirdest question I've ever been asked. Okay. How about a funny question I've been asked?
Yeah, definitely.
So my daughter-in-law called the house about 2 months ago, and we live on the East Coast, and I don't know if who she was talking to, or she was trying to order something online, but she called us and asked us what time it was in the Eastern time zone.
Oh no.
Yeah, and she's on the East Coast, and we're on the East Coast, and that is the Eastern time zone. And we had to tell her, it's 8:00, just like what your clock says. And she just burst out laughing. She's like,
"Oh no!"
She's like, "How did I not know that we were in the Eastern time zone?" So
that's good.
That was a good one.
Oh yeah, that is funny.
Lisa, ask my favorite question of yours. Go for it.
I'm going for my question. Alrighty. So, Jim, you're going to be in a hot tub time machine.
Yes. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yes, I was going to say, I know they have that movie out there.
Yeah.
And you're going to set the dial. Where are you going?
I'm going back to the 80s.
Yay!
Oh,
What,
yeah.
1986, 1988, the best music, the best clothes. That's right. The best hairdos, the best vibe. You know, it just,
all of it.
What a great era. You know,
You ain't kidding. I love that. Yes.
A lot of
And
people
I think,
say the 80s. It sounds like it was a great time. I mean,
you wouldn't have loved it. You wouldn't have wanted.
That's where they went.
Yeah.
You ever watch that movie? They went back to the 80s.
They did.
Yeah.
You know, and the people had those cell phones and they're real big and blocky.
Yes, like, when it first came out, it was real huge.
Yeah, and the guys at riding down on his skis or something. And he's got one of those big bulky phones up to his ear. I mean, yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
It was a great movie. It was a great movie.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch that one. Candy, if you haven't seen it, you've got to put it on. We got to watch it one night or so. You know, and Jim, sometimes
I have seen it. Yeah,
you have, but we'll have to rewatch it. Jim, Candy lives in Canada. I'm here on the eastern, side, like you are.
Yeah.
I'm in Baltimore. So we have never met yet. So it's coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we've been real close. We're close like sisters.
Yeah.
So, yes, but it's going to be an amazing feeling when, we're more than sisters. So when we do finally meet each other for the first time, that's going to be so magical. And so,
sure.
Yes.
Whereabouts in Canada?
I'm in Toronto.
Oh, Toronto. That's a great city.
Love Toronto.
Yeah, that's not that far, Lisa. Shoot. You can... 8-hour drive, maybe 10 hours. 10 hours? What do you think?
Yeah, it's not too far.
Maybe 10 hours to get to Toronto from Baltimore, if that.
Sounds good. I got to get my passports in line and everything.
Yeah,
Lisa, call Jay, and the two of you need to get your butts up here.
Okay, we could do that. If he drives, I'll help out with the tolls and gas, and then there you go.
Yeah, Toronto's a beautiful city.
So you say Toronto's a beautiful city. What was the last time you came up here? What do you remember most about Toronto?
We was up there one time. We were on vacation and we went and saw a Toronto Blue Jays game.
Oh yeah.
And then we just kind of did some shopping all around Toronto and just walked around. It has a very it's very metropolitan. It feels like like a New York City type of feel instead of like Quebec, which is just totally different, yeah, with the that Chateau Frontenac and the downtown.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, just that's just, I just remember being very metropolitan, and we went and saw a Toronto Blue Jays game. And I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of baseball games. That's one of our things, baseball and football. We like to go and see as many different stadiums, my son and I, that we can. And we've probably been to at least 10 different baseball stadiums. And I swear that Toronto baseball stadium was the quietest stadium I've ever been into. Like the fans, they don't cheer, they don't scream, they're not rabid. I couldn't believe it. It's just like they were so.
Well, yeah, and I thought, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up actually, because a lot of Toronto fans, I don't know what the hell it is, whether it's the Raptors or whether it's the Toronto Rock, the lacrosse team, or whether it's the Maple Leafs, the Blue Jays, whatever. Toronto fans are freaking quiet.
They are. I couldn't believe it, and there was a nice size attendance. I mean, it wasn't like the stadium was empty. There was a lot of people there, and you could hear a pin drop. It was just quiet and not cheering and screaming if there's a bad call. I just remember it just being so docile environment, and I'm like, there's just something wrong with this picture.
Well, let me tell you, the only time we ever really got excited about sports teams, because we got through a dry spell up here in Toronto.
Yeah.
First it was the 93 World Series. The Blue Jays took that one.
Yeah.
And then I think it was about 3 years ago, the Raptors won the NBA championships. Beyond that, Toronto fans don't normally get excited about that kind of thing.
Yeah, they haven't had a lot.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't had a lot to get excited over. But I'll tell you what I do remember about that Toronto Blue Jays game. They had the best people serving beer and peanuts and stuff. They were so animated. Like this guy who was serving peanuts, he would throw the peanuts like 4 or 5 miles to the guy. And then the guy would send his money, from
down the line.
Yeah, down the line. I mean, it was hilarious. And the guy just went up and down the steps, and then somebody would raise their hand, and he'd be like 30 people away, and he would just zing them. He would just zing them the peanuts right to the guy, and the guy would catch them, and then they would send the money. It was just hilarious. Now that was something I'd never seen before. They just had they had the most animated concession. The guy just went up and down the steps.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, but I never like that. He was just talented. I mean, he could just throw them peanuts exactly where they needed to go.
Well, then he should have been on the team.
He should have been. Yeah, he should have been on the team. Yeah.
That is so funny.
That's awesome. Yeah,
oh
but
my.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But let me tell you, Toronto Maple Leaf fans are a very unique breed because we think that, season opener, we win that game, the Stanley Cup parade needs to start. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Oh, anyway, Lisa, back to you.
Okay. What is your favorite quote?
Favorite quotes? I kind of like presidential quotes.
Okay.
I just and I kind of like literary quotes too. But I couldn't tell you a favorite quote right now to save my life. It just seems like it seems like I love reading a quote when it comes from a past president or from a famous writer. And you know what? Even like a famous star, sometimes they have some really interesting quotes they come out with. But for me to tell you one that's my favorite, I couldn't do it to save my life right now.
Or it could be like, what is your favorite saying? Something like you like to say a lot, maybe.
One favorite saying, I'll tell you. Well, my last name is Day, so a lot of the time, we just say it's daytime. It's daytime. And
I like that. That's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's daytime. Yeah.
Not meaning it's daytime, light time. It just means it's our time to make a move. It's daytime.
It's daytime. Yes,
That's
it's your
brilliant.
time.
I love that.
Yes, that is pretty cool.
I think my son came up with it, so, but.
Aw.
Nice. Aw. Now, do you have? Is your son? Is he into the music scene as well, or?
No, he's not gifted like that. I bought him a $1,200 drum set because he wanted it in when he was in high school, and
okay,
he played it 4 or 5 times. So, but I still have it. That's what we're going to take out on our tour.
There you go.
Anyway,
you go.
Nice. It's a pearl set, real nice. So.
Oh, sweet.
I saved it all this time because I thought.
What color is it?
It you know what? It is gold and black, and it's black. The base of it's black, and then the guy. He etched gold all around it. It's really, really cool and paint.
Nice.
He did this gold etching around it, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Oh, that is so cool. I bet you it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's in storage, but it's gonna come out soon. I have a feeling it's gonna be coming out soon.
Awesome. Now, I have another question. I had a couple of them rolling. What's on your bucket list? The craziest thing that's on your bucket list?
The craziest thing on my bucket list?
Yeah.
Well, I love to travel. My dad was a world traveler. Before he passed away, he was able to to Antarctica, and that was the final continent. He when he went to Antarctica and the South Pole, he went to all 7 continents. So I think my bucket list is to travel more than he did, and the only way I'll be able to do that is to get out on tour. So because he was a college professor, and his college, golly, they would send him all over the place, seminars, and they would swap teachers. He'd go to China and teach for 6 months, and China would send a teacher here, a faculty member here to teach.
Wow. Okay.
It was like it was just like a professor exchange program where the universities would exchange professors. So a Chinese professor could come here and get a taste of America for 6 months, and then my dad would go to China for 6 months. So, and my dad, of course, he loved traveling, and so he did a lot of traveling on his own, but the college sent him so many places, and he was the only person in his department that would volunteer to go to these seminars. I mean, it was a paid vacation, but nobody wanted to go, and they'd be like,
what?
And they like Dr. Day, there's a seminar in Brazil, in 3 months. Would you like to go for 3 or 4 days? And my dad would be like, hell yeah! And so the college just sent them all over the place. And you know what? It's so funny. My dad never went to the seminar.
Oh no!
He went there but didn't go to the seminar.
Yeah, he went to the seminar briefly the first day and would pick up all the materials that they would hand out. Well, basically everything they talk about in the seminar was in those materials.
Okay, I gotcha.
He'd bring back all these materials back, but the whole time he was there, he was sightseeing.
He enjoyed himself with the trip.
Yeah. So he's like, they'll never know. He's like, they'll never know that I never went to the seminar, and then it's hilarious. It really is. It's hilarious. He never ever went to the seminars.
That's good.
That is so cool. That would be the thing to do. Go out and have a ball. I understand how he feels on that, though.
That's awesome. So, Jim, we're starting to run out of time, so we're just going to take a few minutes here and begin to wrap things up. Couple more fun questions, Lisa. I know you got a couple more on your list. What do we got?
Let's see. If you had the opportunity to go to a store and like if they gave you all the money that you could buy something in a particular store, what store are you going to and what are you buying?
If they would just give me whatever probably Lowe's. I would go to Lowe's and I would have them I want to finish this basement in here. I'm living in my dad's place. My dad passed away about a year ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And I sold my house and we moved here into Ohio. And so his basement's not finished. And I have all my music stuff downstairs. I would just run up the tab and finish the basement.
I see.
Yeah.
Awesome. That would be the one way to put it. Yes, make your music room, like your little den.
Yeah.
What's the funniest thing that you've ever What's the funniest thing you've ever witnessed, whether it's performing at your own shows or being at somebody else's show? Like what was the funniest, craziest thing that you've ever witnessed or encountered?
Does it have to be at a show?
No, we can branch off a little bit. What do you got for us?
The funniest thing I ever saw in my life. We were back in high school, and
I love these high school days. I love it. Go ahead.
After the football game, we would all walk across the street to McDonald's, and there's a red light right there, and we'd have to wait, 2 minutes for the red light to click over so we could cross to go to McDonald's. And we had this guy, his name was Billy Caton, and he was a wrestler.
Uh-oh.
Say it again. What was his name?
He's a wrestler.
He was a wrestler, but his name was Billy Caton, Caton. And
Caton, yeah.
Okay.
He had this thing, and now it's pitch dark. You got to remember, you got to think it's pitch dark. Nobody can see, really anything around us.
Yeah.
And he had this thing for taking a whiz on someone's leg.
What?
And it wasn't me, but it was another guy that all of a sudden started wanting to know why his leg was so warm and wet.
What the frick?
Oh my God.
He just pissed all over the guy's leg, and he just drenched his one leg. I mean, we went into McDonald's and the guy had one leg dry and one leg wet. His jeans were wet on the one leg. Hilarious.
Oh no, not good.
But because he was a wrestler and a really good wrestler, anybody would try to tackle him was going to get put down, and he was just that good. He was a state champion wrestler, and so nobody.
Now, was this like professional wrestling, like what?
No. This is high school wrestling.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. He's a high school wrestler, and he wasn't a big guy. He was short. He wrestled like at 120, 120 pounds, but he was a state champion like 2 years in a row, and but he just had this funny. He just had this crazy numption just to pee on people's legs.
That is, wow. That is one of the most effed up things I think I've ever heard in my life.
I think that's a crazy story right there. You wanted a crazy story, Candy? There you go.
Yep. And I had heard that he had done that before, but I'd never really witnessed it and witnessed a guy who had his leg was soaked because Billy. But he just thought that was the funniest thing.
Oh my goodness, so crazy.
Oh, that's good.
So Jim, what would you tell your fans out there, people who are just starting out in the business, in the music world? What advice would you give to them?
If they're just starting out, I would say to just spend extra time to craft and create your own sound. Mm-hmm. They have an idea what kind of sound they want to put out, but I would tell them to take extra time. But I think that's the most important thing for a band or a musician that wants to be unique, wants to really do something special, is that they got to find their own sound.
Find their own sound, be unique, find who they are.
Exactly.
Do their own thing. Gotcha.
Exactly. Because they know who they want to be and they know what kind of music they want to put out. Right. But sometimes it just takes a while to find that sound, that you're looking, and find that sound that's going to differentiate you. It took me a long time. It did.
Yeah.
And now I'm so proud of what we got coming out. I don't know. I got funny feeling. And 30 seconds to goodbye.
Oh, we're losing connection.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was breaking up a little bit, but go ahead.
That song, 30 Seconds to Goodbye, that's my ace in the hole. That's the one I'm holding back. That's the one that can't come out for 3 or 4 songs down the road. But that song, man, it's let me tell you what it's about. Girl breaks up with guy.
Yeah.
Guy talks girl into going on a long drive to their favorite spot. But intention is, and their spot is a lake, and so he drives their vehicle over the cliff into the lake.
Uh-oh.
But
shit.
But his intention is not for them to both die. His intention is to rescue her, but she has to watch him die because he's already dead inside.
Oh,
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
That's deep. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Song's called 30 Seconds Till Goodbye, and the whole last minute and 40 seconds has the most crazy guitar solo you've ever heard.
Wow. Is this like an all fast song, or is it many like fast, slow, or a ballad?
It's a ballad that kicks into gear for the last minute and 30 seconds because that's when they're in the water, you know, and he's like, you have to listen to me. You got to do exactly as I say. You know, I didn't mean for it to happen this way. And then he's like, don't worry about me. I'm just going to be fine, but I need you to survive. And then it's like, girl, don't close your eyes. I need you to survive. Girl, don't close your eyes. Survive. And then he's like, we have 30 seconds till goodbye. We have 30 seconds till goodbye. We have 30 seconds till goodbye.
I cannot wait to hear this when it comes out. I already got the good feels. Yes.
That's actually my masterpiece. That's my masterpiece.
Awesome. So. Share some love. Share some love on that one.
Yes.
Woo! Yes.
Very cool.
When a couple people have heard that song and they think his intention was to kill them both, and that's not what it was.
And that's not what it was.
His intention is for her, and what he does is they're trapped in the vehicle underwater, and in the video he fights and gets her undone, so she's free, and she tries to free him, but he gives up his air underwater because he doesn't want her to waste any more time trying to save him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he gives up his air on purpose and drowns right in front of her because he knows she's going to fight for 10 or 15 seconds to try to free him out of the seatbelt and everything. And he wants her to have enough time to get to the surface. And so get this. So when the song ends, you think, okay, you know, if you figure it out, okay, he died, but she didn't. But in the video, she is going to wake up the next morning, and it was all just a dream.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Wow. Oh, my. Ah!
Video that it never happened. So, but.
Wow. And it was just a dream?
It was just a dream. Yes. It was just a dream.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Anyway.
I have crazy dreams, don't I, Candy? Whew.
Yeah.
I have very wild, vivid dreams like that, and I wake up and I immediately I have to text Candy. I'm like, "You're not gonna believe my dream." Yeah, and it's really crazy. Mm-hmm.
I'll send you that one, Lisa, so you can listen to it.
I would love to hear that. Thank you so much.
But you'll agree with me, and I want you to listen to that guitar solo. That last minute and a half. I mean, that guy. What he did was spectacular. I mean, it was just the notes were just so carefully constructed.
I cannot wait to hear it. Yes, I've got to hear it now. Yes.
Right. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And
send it either to my messenger or to Front Row Promotions email. Yeah. Awesome.
Tell me if it's not awesome.
Me and Kenny will both listen together, and we will tell you. We'll do the, we'll listen together, and then we'll get back with you and let you know what we say and what our opinions are. Yes, I cannot wait. After hearing all that, I've got to hear it now.
Song is, if that don't put me on the map, then fame and fortune wasn't supposed to come my way.
I see.
Well, we're going to do our best, along with our followers, to collectively put that out there and to help you guys out in any way we can.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
share anything to our page, Front Row Promotions. I have it where I have to, because I was getting a lot of bogus stuff sent to me. I have to approve everything. I approve everything that comes through now. So if you post it and you don't see it right away, it's just because I have to approve it. And everything, because I had other people were bringing stuff to my attention that I had a lot of bogus stuff that had nothing to do with music on there, and I had to delete it and go back and all that. So, to prevent all that, I just have to approve whatever is sent to me.
Right.
So,
I got you.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Jim, like I said, we are running out of time here. We're going to cut you loose here in just a few minutes. But before we do, can you plug all of your socials and let everybody watching know where you can be found and where they can follow you?
Okay. All right. You mean like right now?
Right this second. Yeah, we want all our listeners to
on
hear.
Throw it out there.
My Instagram, it's tattooed__angel.
Okay.
Tattooed__angel. My YouTube page is Supersonic Platonic.
Okay.
Supersonic Platonic. And that's really all I have. I have that YouTube. I don't really have a big TikTok following, but yeah, I don't really have anything enough on TikTok. It's really on as my Instagram. And we set up Tattooed. We're trying to listen to the song, and we're focusing on girls with tattoos because we feel that's going to be our best shot, at getting the song out there as girls with tattoos falling in love with the song.
I don't know if you can see it, but I have a tattoo on my arm. I'll send you a picture. It's Victoria, it's my daughter, and it's a picture of a mommy and a daughter and a heart symbol. And then I have a Playboy bunny on my ankle. It's a leopard printed Playboy bunny on my ankle. Go ahead, Candy.
And I have on the back of my neck, I have a butterfly tattoo, which has special meaning because one of my dearest friends, she's no longer with us. She had cancer, and she passed away back in 2012. She had the exact same tattoo in the exact same spot. So when she passed, I got that tattoo for her. So I kind of carry her around with me wherever I go. And then on my left shoulder blade, I have the word Destroyer tattooed. I'm a big Kiss fan, and Destroyer is one of my favorite Kiss albums. One of my favorite. I have other ones that I like too, but Destroyer, I just thought it was a really cool thing to get tattooed. And so it's on my left shoulder blade in cursive. And then behind my ear, I have a semicolon, which is the symbol for mental health and suicide prevention awareness.
Okay, cool.
And there you go.
Yep. All right.
So yes, us tattoo girls love your stuff.
Like share some love, share some love all the way around.
All right. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Thank you so much for coming.
All righty.
Such a pleasure. And like we said, anything you need, just hit us up. When that music becomes available for everybody to enjoy, post away on our page. That's why we do what we do.
Okay.
And you're more than welcome to come back when those videos come out. Right. You'll come back and we'll promote them as well.
All right. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
All right. I'm going to close out the show. Thank you all for coming to Front Row Promotions. Thank you, Jim Dave, for coming to Front Row Promotions and talking about your music and everything about you. We appreciate you and thank you so much. All and come back again. And Front Row Promotions signing out.